Something out of my nightmares, seen it right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palm.
Hello, it's Wednesday night. Welcome to Dear Dana.
You don't
Come
ever wanna
on
give me
in.
wings.
It's not
You
scary.
don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted. You've been gifted with the evil voodoo.
Shake
Got
off
me
the
coming back
stress.
for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through.
Breathe
Got
in
issues in my head. I like you in my bed, but you keep me on
and
red.
hold it.
Oh, everything is like a test. I better not text.
Breathe
or I'll
out through
come
your
off
mouth.
desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under
Breathe
my
in.
bed, thinking something out of my nightmares.
Hold it.
Seen it right there. But if I lay down
Breathe
and I
out through
play
your
dead
mouth.
and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything
Inhale
that
through
you
your
did,
nose.
that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing.
Hold it.
And my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like
Breathe
when
out
I'm with
through
you
your
I'm
mouth.
losing. I feel like you think that this amusing. Sitting there gaslighting
We
and
are
confusing. Was it me? Is
conscious
it me?
breathing.
Am I deluded? I'm the
Cool
one
way.
who's always sorry, the conclusion.
Inhale through your
Even
nose.
though I offer all of the solutions, I wish you loved me like
Hold
I
it.
love you. It's stupid. When I'm alone with you, I never
Exhale through
feel
your mouth.
lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I
Let's
first saw you,
release
I
all the
knew
stress of the
this.
day.
When I'm with you, I feel so useless. I feel
And
diluted.
hello out
My
there
heart's been wounded.
in the bushes. I see you too.
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt.
Just come on in.
Never really know
Welcome
just
to
what
Dear
you
Dana.
want. With you, I
Today,
never
we're
feel
talking
calm.
about what would you do?
I can feel the sweat inside my palm.
What would you
Play
do?
with me like cats and a string. You don't
Need
understand
to
the
figure
pain
this
of
thing
pain.
out.
You don't
Need
ever
to hear
wanna
what you
give
would
me
say.
wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get
Just release all the stress. Just let it go. Just take control instead of counting down. Welcome. Come on in. We're about to wrap this up. Just about now. Okay, it's Wednesday night. It's hump day. Hump day. Everybody, welcome to Dear Dana. Tonight we are talking about what would you do? Such a confounded question when you're put in different predicaments. And we all encounter those. You run up against it. You don't know what you're going to do. And sometimes it is a moral dilemma. Sometimes it's a dilemma in your own life. And it's confusing. And sometimes it is something that can affect you forever. And it can mess with you in your very own life. And it's something that could affect you forever and always. Hey, Paranormal Witch Willow, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? I hope you're healing well. How are you doing, sweetheart? Glad that you're in here. So glad that you're here. Thank you. Are you doing better? We are talking about what would you do? So many different scenarios. I have encountered some myself lately. Better than a couple of weeks ago. Girl, my eyes are so off tonight. They are going in and out. I am struggling to see. Let me tell you, before I go further, I'm going to throw down that intro before I forget. So happy to see everyone that's even in the bushes. You know how that goes. So let me go throw it down. I had talked about this the other night about what would you do? You're in the kitchen lighting candles. Candles are always a good thing. Every time I do a live, every single time I do a live, I have a candle lit to bring in the energy, light up the room. I always ask that this room is full of light and that everyone in here is surrounded by light. I had a thought today before I go further and before I lose this thought. I was out with my mom yesterday and we had an interaction. A stranger had said something to her, and it hit her in a different way than it hit me. And it ruffled her feathers a little bit. I won't go into what it was, and it wasn't anything bad. And the way she took it, it agitated her. And the way I took it, I didn't feel like the lady meant anything at all. And it had to do, I'll just say it had to do with the way my mom was dressed and she was fixed up. My mom never leaves the house, ever, without being dressed to the T, having her hair done, her face done, everything. Never. Regular Southern lady, older Southern lady, always fixed up. And the lady just basically asked her, does it make her feel better about herself or does it just make her feel better? And my mom answered her, but it agitated her. And the lady thought she was about her age, which was a compliment to my mom. Because the lady was much younger than my mom. And my mom took it, ugh. And I said, Mom, the lady didn't mean anything by it. The lady was just reflecting on herself, how she didn't have the energy and didn't feel like she could do that. And my mom took it as the lady was judging her. So my point is, when you wake up, when you go out in the world each day, if you have the perception that's negative and you feel like everybody's after you, everybody's judging you, that is how you're going to see the world. You are going to assume everyone's judging you in what they say, and everyone's after you. So with whatever they say to you, that's how you're going to perceive it, regardless if they have good intentions or they mean nothing by it. But if you wake up and go out in the world and assume most people mean well and most people's intentions are good, that's how you're going to perceive things from others. Of course, we always are going to have those negative people, right? Honey, you know what? I bet you most people don't wonder that. I bet most people don't wonder that. Most people are worried about their own life. Most people are worried about their own life. Oh, that sounds nice, Willow. Most people are worried about their own life. You've got two little ones. They know your hands are full. I bet you they know, because you have two active little ones, that you're chasing them all day. Just like when I had Noah and he might be dirty or messy or get sick or something like that. They knew. They knew. So if you go out in the world with more of a positive attitude, that most people mean well, you're going to perceive the world differently. And it's going to be less stressful and easier on you. Like when I was younger, I perceived people around me as probably judging me because that's what teenagers do. And it makes things more stressful. And when I got older, I had the attitude of, you know how they say, what other people think of you is not your business. I adopted more of that attitude. And it made my life so much easier. And I adopted more of the attitude of, how can I help other people? How can I help other people? And it just made the switch, you know? So I just wanted to put that out there before we started. So you said, I don't pay attention to people's judgment. They don't know me. And it says a lot about them than me. It does. It says more about them than you. But a lot of times, sometimes we can assume people are thinking things. And my dad used to say something really cool. You know the word assume, ASSUME. Assume. If you assume things about other people, you make an ass out of you and me. You make an ass out of you and me. Because often we don't really know what they're thinking unless we ask them. You know? I don't like it when people assume things about me. I'd rather they ask me. So getting on with what would you do? And now there's not many people here right now. I wish some people in the bushes would come up. Where's everybody at the bar? Is it favorite show time? Am I going at the same time as other people? Probably. Maybe it's time to change the show. I think this happened last Wednesday. But here's a good one. What would you do if you're standing in line at the pharmacy? And this happened to me. It actually happened to me from the pharmacist. Yeah, bar, I wish. I'd like to have a pina colada, a frozen one. But someone, when I had Noah, and he was in a handicapped stroller, right? And someone looked at me. It was actually the pharmacist, but I've had a regular person ask me in the past, and this was when he was a lot younger. And they said to me, "Oh, what is your son's life expectancy?" What? What is my son's life expectancy? And I was in utter shock. Utter shock. And I didn't know what to say for a few minutes. And I know tears kind of rose up in my eyes. And I just said, well, there's no stamp on his foot. No one ever put a stamp on his foot to tell me what his life expectancy was. You know, like they do meat. But I don't think anybody should ever say that to a mother. Ever. Of a special needs child. Ever. Period. Especially a regular person in a pharmacist's line, or a pharmacist for that matter. But if you saw that happen to a mother with a special needs child, and someone was asking that of her, and you're listening and you're watching that, what would you do? Would you just watch and listen? Would you do nothing? What would you do? What would you do? It's one of those social questions. What would you do? Someone asked me, are you a Satanist? Because you need God. The reason? Say that was because I wear a pinnacle on my neck. She didn't know I was a Wiccan. How did you handle that, Willow? If I knew that and she said that, I would step in and explain for you what a Wiccan was. I would. Because that would bother me that they called you a Satanist. But what did you do, Willow? What did you do? In that case? And how did you feel about it? How did you feel about it? I told her that you need to do research and told her that my God is not my God and she needs to think before she speaks. That was a good thing to say. But Willow, if you heard a person or a pharmacist say that, like they said to me about what is your child's life expectancy, would you say anything? Would you be stunned? How would you feel if you heard someone say that to a mother of a special needs child? Would you be shocked? Have you ever heard anybody go to a mother and say something so shocking? What is your child's life expectancy? I think that's really harsh. It's like somebody walking up to an adult that they don't know and saying, hey, did they tell you when you're going to die? Well, it says, yes, I would say something. I was like, WFT, you need to think before you speak, lady, and mind your own business. Thanks, Willow. I thought that was one of the cruelest things I'd ever heard someone say. One of the cruelest things I'd ever heard someone say. Another one. What if you're in the grocery store and you see a lady with her buggy? She's got a few items in it, and she's got a bottle of wine. And she has a toddler holding her hand, and this toddler may be pushing 2 years old. Maybe. If that. Maybe not even 2. Because the baby looks like it's barely walking. Maybe 18 months, okay? And the baby reaches over and gets a bag of chips. A small bag of chips. And wants a small bag of chips. And the mom is like, we can't afford that. And the baby's hungry, wants a bag of chips. She has a few things in the buggy, and she really wants that bottle of wine. No, we can't afford that. And before you know it, innocent little, less than a toddler, is crying, and she's smacking that baby so hard on the legs and arms, hard, until the baby's legs and arms are blood red. okay, over a bag of chips, saying she can't afford it, but she got that bottle of wine. And I'm not talking tap, and I'm not talking on a diaper. What would you do? What would you do? Would you intervene? Would you keep on going? What would you do? Girl, I'd have to say something at that point. I have said something. That's too young to be going that far over a bag of chips when she's got the wine. You tell the manager of the store and let them handle it. That's too far. I might have to say something to the mom. Or maybe the manager, like you said, that's too far. That's a baby. That's too much. If she popped him on the diaper where it's cushioned, I'd let it go. But when that skin is that red over a bag of chips, and she's saying no, they can't afford it, but she got the bottle of wine, I might have to say something. I might have to say something. Whew, that's too far. And the therapist in me, look, I've had to investigate families that they were about to take away. He was more, he was probably more autistic, but they were about to take him away because the family didn't quite know how to handle it. And they were trying to accuse the family of ABUSE because the family did not quite have the skills, and he was doing things to himself, come to find out. Wasn't the family. The child was doing self things to himself. Wasn't the family. So ultimately, he got to stay with the family. The family had to make adjustments, had to learn some new skills, but I went to their house for weeks, trying to help them learn new skills and observing what was going on, how he was getting some of the INJURIES. So, you kind of have to really observe things sometimes. Okay, another scenario. You all right, buy the chips for the kid and solve the problem. But it's all about, sometimes it's walking that fine line too. Because we can't step on the toes of the parent either. Because just because we buy the chips doesn't mean the mom's going to give it to the kid. If you saw a lady trying to pay with food vouchers, not just the stamps, but the vouchers, but for whatever reason, when they would try to use them to ring things up, they weren't working. But the lady was still trying to use them. And you don't want to disrespect the lady either. You don't want to disrespect her or embarrass her at the same time. What would you do? What would you do? Because you also have to have respect for the family, respect for the culture. The cashier keeps trying. What would you do? I was in that circumstance Sunday, and I would kind of glance, and I would glance at the cashier because I sat there and I thought, if it ultimately doesn't work, I want to help her. But I want to make sure whether it's going to work or not, because I don't want to step on her toes. I don't want to embarrass her. I don't want to embarrass her. But I want to be of help because she was trying to buy formula on top of some other things. And I wanted to make sure the baby, which was apparently at home, had its formula. Oh, yeah, that's a good point about that parent. You don't know if they're aggressive and they're going to attack you. It's tricky, sticky situations. Tricky, sticky situations in life. You want to be a good human, but you don't want to overstep. And at the same time, people need to make sure their intentions are in the right place. And they don't do it out of ego, out of needing to save people, out of needing to save people for their own ego food. It's like, always make sure your intentions are in the right place. You know what I mean? We have to put a check on ourselves. Check ourselves out. Check ourselves out. Do a self check. We always make sure we're doing everything for the right reason. Okay. If you were walking down the road and you saw a group of middle school kids and they happened to be bullying this one kid and you saw it going on, do you walk by the kids and just let them handle what's going on, or do you intervene and make them stop bullying that one kid? What do you do? What do you do? Hey, out in the bushes, come on in. We are safe. Come on in, participate. It's so nice. People asked for this. They said, yeah, let's do that. What do you do? And lo and behold, nobody is here. They're out in the bushes. All of you are here in the bushes. I know you are. And Willow, beautiful Willow, is here. That's different. I will step in and tell my mom, call the cops. Definitely call the cops. That's where, if you don't intervene sometimes, then they can, look, some of those middle school kids can be big and mean. They can be big and mean. I definitely would call the cops. I might not jump in the fray. It depends on how big they are. Because they can be some big mammy jammas. I would definitely call the cops. To at least break it up. To know somebody cares, somebody's watching. What's that? Because some of those middle school kids can be huge. OMG. Have you seen some of those the hormones kick in? They do, they do, they do. That is when the hormones start kicking in and they get big. Woo! By the way, if Ariella is watching tonight, she had asked me to do something, click on something to help her with something on Instagram. Now look, she was like, I promise this isn't going to happen, because I said, that's how I got hacked on my big Instagram account last time. So I can't do it. She goes, I promise it's not going to happen, and showed me a screenshot of something. Now look, I temporarily blocked that account. If you're listening, Ariella, it has nothing to personally do with you if that was you. But if that was not you, Ariella, you have a hacker. So I temporarily blocked that account, not because of you personally, but because I have a fear of hackers. I've been through it once because of some of the same stuff. So it has nothing to do with you. I apologize if that was you. But safety precautions. Now, on to the next. Now, we have to watch our integrity do what is true to us. It's about being a good human. Look, it's easy to be nice temporarily. Anybody can be nice temporarily. But to be an authentic, genuine, good human, it's a whole nother ball of wax. And it's much more difficult. Just saying. If you saw a man and a girl coming out of a restaurant and he's grabbing her arm like this, evidently trying to hurt her, what would you do? What would you do? And those watching in the replay gang, put your comments down below. And if you've had similar um, instances or instances at all where you have had to make a crucial decision, let me know your stories in the comments. I would like to hear. I would definitely like to hear. What would you do if you see a guy doing that to a female? People you don't know, but you definitely know it's not good. What would you do? Do you get involved? Do you ignore it? Do you call the cops? Do you say something to that guy? Because sometimes it takes the cops too long to get there. What would you do? Do you involve yourself? I want to know. What would you do if someone parking next to your car and you didn't know they are planning to kidnap you? What would you do if someone parking next to your car and you didn't know they're planning to kidnap? Well, here's the thing. They're parking next to your car and you don't know they're planning to kidnap you. So how could you do anything if you don't know? So my suggestion to you is always be aware anywhere you are. When you're getting out of your car, number one, I don't have my keys with me here, but you have, if you're alone especially, you put your keys between your finger, pointing out of your fingers like this. Pointing out of your fingers. Put each key between your finger. Make sure your head is up and you are looking around at your perimeter. Be aware of what's going on. Head up. Be aware. Be focused of where you're going and where you're walking. Make sure when you walk out of the place, someone walks you out. And have your phone in hand. What would you do if someone parking next to you and you didn't know they're kidnapping you? Has that occurred with you, Willow? Always be hyper aware. Be hyper aware and lock your car so no one can jump in your car while you're out of it for one thing. Hey, Shay B. So happy to see you. My motto is stay ready like lunch meat. I'm also a licensed gun owner. You are fierce, 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 fierce. My husband has one. I made him hide it. Look, I would like to go to a shooting range. It makes me nervous having one in the house, and I'll tell you why. When we first got married, he wasn't used to living with anybody. And I was upstairs in another room using the computer. And he had a GUN, I don't know, can we say that? Hidden. And I was going into the bedroom and he wasn't used to someone in the house that late. He jumped up in the dark. I can't see in the dark. And was at the door with one pointed at me. Scared me to death. He could have, you know what? He could have unlined me. So we had a rule. We had a rule. He was a little too ready for my liking. Too ready. I mean, I've taken judo and I'm certified in kickboxing, even though I have MS. And, my daughter's making a face. And Pi, which is, it is Pilates and yoga on crack. But yeah, he made me a little too nervous. Practicing is the only thing that helps you to get over the fear that's scary. Yeah. But I think we have a range here. And I would like to go to it while I still have vision. Hopefully, y'all will always keep my vision. But like I said, I am this eye, because of MS, I have a tunnel of vision that's slowly decreasing into a smaller and smaller tunnel. And like when I came on tonight, I mean, I'm getting some of my vision is clearing up a little, but I couldn't see hardly squat. I couldn't see my face on here. Thank you, MS. But it's getting a little bit clearer right now. I have some more. If you saw a salesperson in a more shishy store, oh, don't be sorry. It is what it is. So I take advantage of the other eye. I take advantage. Look, I am so grateful that I am as physical as I am. It could be a million times worse. So I'm super grateful. Super grateful. I have super hearing. I have super reflexes because of the weirdness of it. And I take mighty advantage of my other eye. So thank you, Shay. If you were in a very uppity store, a very expensive store, and let's say, there are some days, there's a lot of days, let me be honest. I took care of my son for so long that I hung around the house and wore t-shirts and shorts. And when I'm around the house, I still wear t-shirts and shorts. So let's say that you were all casual and were wearing yoga pants and a t-shirt, okay? And you went into a real high-end store. I've done this. And you were looking around. And you had some money, but you weren't dressed like you did. And a salesperson is stalking you through the store as though you couldn't afford anything in there and that you might steal. And you were someone watching this happen. What would you do? It could be because of your skin color. It could be because of the texture of your hair. It could be because of the clothes you're wearing. And they're stalking this person through the store and you're watching. What would you do? Would you say something to the salesperson because you see them doing it to the person? Would you report them? Would you ignore it and just be like, geez, I can't believe they're doing it to that person? Would you video it and put it on YouTube? What would you do? Because they're judging that person and they're acting like they're going to steal from that store because of their appearance, for one thing or the other. Good. Hell, I might report them and video it too. Because that is so wrong, wrong, wrong. That person could have $1 million in their purse. They could be, you know, a little left to center and straight to the universe and be rich as you know what. It's just ridiculous. That's discrimination. I see a lot of rich people dressed with sweatpants and they go shopping like that, and I will video on YouTube to show their behavior's consequences. It's just crazy. People are snooty. And you know what? In the big picture of things, I was thinking of this today. When a person goes, all of their collections, they can pass down to someone. Or what if they have no one to pass it down to? Kind of sad, don't you think? I mean, look at Queen Elizabeth's corgis have to go somewhere. All her staff lost their jobs. Some of her jewels get buried with her. I mean, we enjoy our things while we're here, and we either pass them on or what? I have angels and things. Who's going to get my angels? Who's going to get my angels? Maybe my daughter. But like this today. I love this book, right? I've got angels spread everywhere. People aren't going to appreciate my angels like I do. People think I talk about angels for no reason. My angels are everywhere, you know? In all kinds of forms. Angels in our midst. And they're just kind of secretly in places where people don't even notice, really. You know? But we have these things we love. Oh, thank you, Shay. And someone could come in my house. Maybe they'd see him, maybe they wouldn't. And the real ones are in here too. And you actually have them. Let me remind you, when you need help, when you need an extra something, please ask them. Oh, love that, Willow. When you need extra help, please ask your angels because they're waiting. Hey, James Money, because they're waiting for you to ask them for additional help that you need. They're kind of doing this. When are they going to ask? When are they going to ask? Twiddling their thumbs. When are they going to ask? And so many people forget. So ask, okay? Remember, they can't impede upon your free will unless your life is in danger. So ask. Okay, now it's getting a little deep here. It's going to get a little deep. So, what would you do? You have butterflies. You have them all over. Shay, did you know when this channel originally started, I think it was, Willow, remind me. She hasn't been here in a while. I got a brain glitch. Isn't she the one that started calling us butterflies? I know what her name is, but I can't remember right now. So she started calling the people in here butterflies. But I think we're shape-shifting into angels in here. She started calling us butterflies, but I haven't seen her in a while. Vintage optimism, that's right. I haven't seen Vintage in a while. I think someone that doesn't like me anymore tried to run her off. Not sure. I see her occasionally. But anyway, what would you do if during a temporary separation with your partner or spouse, you had a sexual encounter that you never planned, but you still loved your partner and you returned to your partner or spouse? Do you tell them about that sexual encounter that meant nothing, that you never planned, or do you keep it to yourself? Do you tell them or do you keep it to yourself? Oh, honey, Willow, you don't have to thank me. I'm always going to support you, girl. But you are most welcome. You don't have to thank me. Do you tell your spouse or partner about that temporary moment of discretion when you were apart that you did not plan or intend, or do you keep your mouth shut? What would you do? If you tell them, it hurts them worse and it creates a million questions. If you don't tell them, even though you know it's never going to happen again, you might feel guilty. It might eat at you. What would you do? What would you do? Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. What would you do? It's a hard one. I'm honest, so I would tell them I will deal with the consequences. At least I was real with them from the get go. I get what you're saying, Willow. I get what you're saying. If they asked me straight out, I would have to tell them because I couldn't lie. It's hard because telling them from the get go messes with their ego a lot. It messes with their ego a lot. They may not want to know. Then there's the saying, what if they did the same thing? Do you want to know? Do you want to know? I love butterflies too so much. You want to know, Shay? And you want to tell them? I think I would want to know too. I mean, I feel like I would want a clean slate. But man, that's so hard, right? Because here's the thing, if my partner did it and I didn't, I would feel like my marriage had been sullied. Someone had been someplace they didn't need to be. Meaning my partner and the other place. Oh, good one. Listen, did you all hear about the Adam Levine thing? Him being with Instagram models. Wasn't just the one. Now it sounds like more than one. While his wife was pregnant, now she's pregnant again. Ooh, girl. I used to think he was an okay guy. Now this. makes me look at him with different eyes. But what should I expect? I've seen him talk while he was at home, well, do a new song, so stony. I liked him better while he was on The Voice. And his wife is gorgeous. Now they're on baby number 3. And he's slipping in the DMs of young Instagram models. What, half his age? Boney Maroney can't keep it in his pocket. Man, his kids are not going to look at him very well when they get older and see this. And then he tries to say it didn't go that far, and now I think it did. Child. I would be kicking him out and taking him for so much money. But will she do it or not? What would you do? If you were her, what would you do? You're probably right, Willow. She might have expected him to do it while she was pregnant. Maybe they had an agreement. I don't know. Maybe she said, well, I'm this big and pregnant. But that one Instagram model said it went on for a year. And she even had receipts where he said, do you mind if I name my son after you? That makes me sick. I guess James popped in and out. That makes me sick. Sick. I expected him to be more mature than that. Baby, they're going to cancel him. He's going to get canceled for a while. Look, some of these women are coming out on social media, like Chriselle from the real estate show and other stars are trying to fry his butt, telling other women, if you have been with him, come out with receipts. We don't like cheaters. We don't like cheaters. Yes, they are. So they are trying to fry his butt in the name of everyone that did them wrong. These women are going after him. It's disgusting. My mom just found out I was named after my dad's ex-girlfriend. What? So your dad talked her in to naming you after his ex-girlfriend. And she went along with it. My. I bet she's after him. But still a pretty name, though. Is she trying to talk you into changing it now? It's a beautiful name, though. Men can't live with them, can't live without them. So, what if you were in their position, younger, and a star fell in your DMs? And you didn't realize they were married. But here's the thing. These girls are capable of looking these stars up. But they were just overwhelmed with, ooh, he wants me. I can see that happening. He's rich. He's a singer. He wants me. Willow, I wouldn't change it. I was joking. But what if one of your favorite movie stars or singers fell in your DMs? Excuse me. And you were this age or younger? What would you do? Married or not? Would you go out with him? I mean, We say we wouldn't. If they were married, I couldn't do it. I'm married anyway, but you know what I mean. If we were younger, you can see how girls fall into that. Okay, let's move on to one that's not about cheating. What would you do if you found out your friend's child, teenager even, was taking drugs? Willow says, if a celebrity DM me, I would never go out with them, but I will be his friend, but that's all. Yeah, I could see giving him advice. Don't cheat on your wife, you scuzz bucket. Don't cheat on your wife, you scuzz bucket. Don't do it. Nada. No, no muy bien, no. What would you do if you found out your friend's child was doing drugs? Would you go to your friend and tell him, hey, Virginia Woolf, you said you try to stay out of other people's business, but what if you found out their kid was doing drugs? What if you found out their kid was doing drugs? Would you tell your friend that their kid was doing drugs? Dangerous ones. Would you keep it to yourself? Would you tell your friend? That's scary. 13. 13. 12 maybe. What would you do? We're talking 6th grade. Let's say 6th grade. Still elementary school. You find out they're doing drugs. And we're not talking about marijuana, baby. You find out they're doing drugs. Which means someone's probably trying to get them to deal. That would be the next thing. What would you do? That's scary. Would you tell the mom? Mm-mm-mm. Sometimes it is because people are afraid of speaking up that things mount, that things get worse. Good. Thank you, Virginia Woolf. That we lose children, that things happen that could have been prevented. What would you do if you find a note? If you find a note in a locker room, at a gym, from a person that you work with, just happen to find a note, falls out of their bag, and it is a note that they have written that is very fortunate, Virginia Woolf, that you find a note someone's written and it looks like a note that they're writing to unlife themselves. Your son said that about me. um, someone that you work with had a note fall out of their gym bag, and I'm having to say it this way because I'm having to say it this way because YouTube has words we can't say. A note falls out of their gym bag, and it's a note they have written. I guess that they haven't left yet. That they have written that they're going to leave behind to unlife themselves. Do you get what I'm saying? To unlife themselves. It's an unlife themselves note. A suicide note. What would you do? You know this person from work. What would you do? What would you do? Would you throw the note away? Would you give them the note back and tell them that you're here for them? Would you give them the note back along with hotline, therapist, etc.? What would you do? Paranormal says I would call the cops and tell them this person needs help. But how do you prove it? You have to be able to prove it. It fell out of their bag. What would you do? What would you do? Dun, 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 dun. What would you do? I would talk with him directly. That's a good thing. I would also talk with them and give them all kinds of helplines. I would talk with them and let them know you're here for them and that you're aware. But I would definitely give them hotlines, helplines, etc. They may say, it's not mine, that it's old. You don't know. If a person in their head is planning to do that seriously, sometimes you can't change it. But talking to them and giving them help options is a good step to go. It's a good step to go with. Family members can help get them involuntarily placed and help. It takes two people that are connected to them if they're planning to hurt themselves or others. Virginia Wolf says, I looked into hotline once, actually helped someone, took them to a psych ward. Excellent. Excellent. But anytime you have someone, a friend or family member, that says they're going to, you and a friend or family member can call the hospital or the police and have a 150 placed on them saying they plan to hurt themselves. And you could have them on a 72-hour hold in the hospital against their will, but that is a last resort. It is a last resort. The only info that I found on this was not helpful. Needed to do something ASAP. Yes. Like I said, it's if they plan to hurt themselves or others, and it's the last resort. They put them on a 72-hour hold. They watch and examine them, try to come up with a diagnosis, and come up with the best plan to serve their greater good. It's what I used to do with people at the hospital. And they either do an outpatient program or put them in the hospital for however long to get them stabilized. Okay, it's Christmas time, and you see a mother and child on the street saying they need X amount of money to get someplace to live, food, and whatever. And they have a sign up. What do you do? Do you give them the X amount of money? Do you give them some money? Do you buy them food? What do you do? Do you think it's a scam, or do you believe it? Now, I've seen it where it turned out to be a scam and they were using their child to gain sympathy. That really bothered me. I gave him money anyway because sometimes you can't tell. And I've seen a man that just said he needed food. I went and got him a bunch of food and took it to him. What would you do? What would you do? Again, everything is about pure intention. When you do these things, look at the scenario, go with your gut. Go with your gut above all. Try to always do the next right thing. That's what you use in your head and your gut. Do the next right thing. Don't go with ego. Go with gut and intention. Do the next right thing. Virginia says, I might ask them if they needed help, see if it is a scam or not. You can't always tell. They're not going to tell you if it's a scam. Use your gut instinct. Feel it out. Do the next right thing. Do the next right thing. Oftentimes, if they say things like, I need food, I will go buy food. Or give them things that look like necessities if it's cold. You see what I'm saying? I will do things like that. I will feel it out and do what I think is for the highest good and within my means. Highest good within my means that is the most respectful. And usually you can kind of look and feel out what is a scam, especially at Christmas, and it looks like, something is off. Virginia Woolf says, when I lived in Baltimore, I saw people with kids panhandling, would give them food, etc. I mean, you often can tell what's real, what's not. You often can tell. To get vouchers for food, not cash. Yeah, I haven't seen that around here. But, I have seen, I'm learning more the difference in people that are just scamming people and the people that really need help. I don't like it when they try to use children to scam people. I don't like that. Poor kids. But, when it comes to society and stuff, sometimes people need to intervene in certain situations and not turn a blind eye. Sometimes people need to intervene. But there are times when people need to always do it for the right reason. Use your gut instinct, do things with integrity and respect, and not to be a superhero and not to be, ego person, that kind of thing. Always check yourself and don't ever try to take the respect or integrity from another person. Oh, I see, Virginia. So it's kind of like read the room always when you're doing things. That's what I'm saying. So, anyway, just thought I would bring some awareness. And, oh, yeah, I want to say some of the shorts I'm doing, if you see my face up there, let me say, it's not because I particularly like my face. Let me clarify that. And sometimes I have to make it a little weird and humorous. YouTube requests that we use our face more in some of the shorts. So I do, but I don't always like to. And if you see like bathing suits and stuff on other people, look, I'm creating thirst traps so I can get psychological messages up there. I'm creating some thirst traps. I laughed at my husband. I said, see, if I do this, males will look at the bathing suit, right? And they might see the mental health messages if I have the thirst trap up there. Smart, yeah. So I'm just putting these messages out there so you know. On some of the shorts, they want to see the creators' faces. So I'm giving it to them. And I might be Tinkerbell in one, and I might do this in one. So don't think it's because I just want to see myself. Please don't think that, because it's not. It absolutely is not. Just so you know. It's just a weird, oh, we want to see the creator's face. If I put another picture of something, they might want to see me down in the corner. Well, guess what? Dana doesn't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm learning. Just like I have to do a new banner, I need to do a new banner like ASAP. I haven't done it yet. I need to do it like soon. This is what happens when you are not a millennial. And there's so much you still need to learn, even though you've been doing YouTube for a year and a half. Just so you know. So if anyone's overtly creative out there, hey, come on in. Teach me. Teach me. But anywho, I'm going to round this up. I said we were going to do what would you do, and it's been a little slow. Some of the people that said they wanted to do it were not here, but those that did come, I love and appreciate you so very much. You know that I do. Virginia Wolf, Willow, everybody that dropped on in. James dropped on in. Shay dropped on in. My Miss Dependable Paranormal Witch and Willow, she took up the reins tonight. I'm so grateful for you all and those in the bushes and those that come in the replay gang. If you've heard some of these scenarios, drop it in the comments like it's hot and tell me what you would do. And if you have had any special scenarios, I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it. Drop it in the comments and let me know. What would you do? Or what are some special odd things that you have ended up in the situations? Tell me about it. I want to know about some odd things that have happened to you. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you all for being here. You are such lovely people. You are good humans. I don't know what I would do without such good humans in my life. I love and adore you so much. I want you to enjoy the rest of your week and let me know certain topics you would like to talk about. Do you want to go into some otherworldly spiritual topics? You want to sling back that way? You want to sling back that way and talk about some of that? Or do you want to go a little bit deeper into psychological topics? Or would you like me to break down the personalities of some super famous people? Just tell me. I am all ears. I am all ears. This might not have been as exciting to you as I wanted it to be tonight, but hey, I was going with the flow of what some people suggested, and we tried it. That's all we can do. We tried it, and that is all we can do, right? But anyway, I love you so much, and I will see you on Saturday night. Be good to yourself. Do something that is self-care. Go get you a massage. I got one that my brother gave me for Christmas that I have not gone and got. That reminds me, I need to make myself an appointment. I need to go do that. I got a free day tomorrow. I need to check them out and see if they got an opening for me. I need to go to sleep up there and get me one. Go get yourself one. If you haven't had one, you are missing out. But anyway, I love you so much. I'll see you on Saturday night. Take care of yourself. And until next time, here we go. Oh yeah, please like, share, subscribe. I'm surrounding you with light. I hope you feel good. I'm surrounding you with love. Feel all this energy. Take care of yourself. Until next time, remember, your vibe attracts your tribe. Bye, everybody. Here we go. Let's go out with this music. Let's go out with this music. Till I fix my outro anyway. I don't want to get a copyright on it. Got to take that song off of it my daughter put on. Let's go.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore. slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.